Welcome to the Tryp, everyone. I'm King Yavelli, and this is my boy Trippy Sayer.
All right, and we have an amazing, wonderful Topanga. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing good.
Okay. And tell us a bit about yourself. What are you into? What can the people expect from you as far as what you're delivering to the world?
So, born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. I actually graduated from the University of Louisville back in 2025.
Congratulations.
Thank you. With my BS in communications. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. I still work a 9-to-5 though, so I don't fully work entrepreneur, but I kind of balance the two of them. Right now I am a brand strategist, so I help entrepreneurs and small business owners with their branding.
Okay. And how has it been doing business in Louisville?
So it's definitely a journey. I feel like it's good for me to learn the ups and downs now. I'm just a year in, so I'm still learning, I'm still growing, so I feel like the ups and downs is what's making me a good leader. So I take in everything. I'm grateful for every opportunity, and I'm just gonna keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned since starting your business to now?
I would say the biggest lesson is really just following through. I know a lot of times, like me especially, I get a lot of ideas. I always want to execute a lot, but I feel like once I have my mind set on something I really want to do, I try to make it my biggest goal to achieve it. If I'm talking about it, then I don't want to just talk about it, if that makes sense. Like I actually want to execute everything that I put my mind to.
What would you say is something that you're still working on or figuring out within the business?
Yeah, I would say just like the metrics of everything.
Like collecting the data?
Yeah, I'm not really big on looking at my numbers and projections, finances, things like that. So going into this next year, I really want to hone in on getting an accountant, looking at my numbers daily, making sure that I'm bringing in as much money and not losing so much.
As far as investment and return on investment, that makes sense. And do you feel like there's a double standard with the men and women in Louisville, or is it business in general?
I see it a lot, just everywhere. I feel like with the women, I definitely see a lot more opportunities opening up for us, but I feel like it's still a male-dominated department, and I feel like the women are coming in trying to make it more gender neutral. But I still feel like a lot of the bigger opportunities, the collaborations are going towards the men. A lot of the women get overlooked because I feel like we are women, so a lot of people don't take us serious. But I feel like this generation, especially us as business women, I feel like we're making a change. We're getting a lot more respect and showing that we can do it too.
Yeah. So is that more so the entrepreneurial space that you're talking about is more male dominated?
I feel like it, yeah. I feel like just even with, for example, not the nonprofit space, I feel like a lot of that is male dominated. So we're kind of more so looked as an assistant or an intern, somebody that's just coming in to kind of help the business and not really make it have longevity. Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, yes and no, because I've been in a lot of spaces where there is only straight women as far as entrepreneurs or business owners that are speaking and educating each other.
Yeah, we've been around some boss women.
Yeah, I love that.
Like you said, last year around this time, Young and Paid, I feel like it was a lot more women in the space than men, and that was 6, 7, 8-figure earners.
Right.
To where I'm still following them now, picking up game Ariel Pryor. She's one of the biggest that's making a change. So I definitely see what you're saying is there's a shift in the culture as far as what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah. I just feel like Louisville hasn't caught on to that yet.
I could see the city being behind.
Yeah, and it's gonna take some time, but I feel like when we talk about collaborations and just having trust in one another, I feel like that's where we're gonna be able to match the male area space. Yeah.
So what steps are you taking yourself to make that difference or make that impact, that not to chase attention, but to let somebody know I'm real deal, this ain't no play business?
Right. So with me, I help men and women entrepreneurs, so a lot of people look at me as like, oh, she just helps women, but I do help men as well. But with the women aspect of it, I just had an event called ElevateHER back in March. It was a full day women's retreat where we just pour into one another, network, really just, you know, it's a space for us to like feel seen, feel heard, honor one another. And I feel like creating spaces like that is important for us because we get imposter syndrome a lot, men and women. But I feel like having those spaces is like, okay, I see you too. Like I'm going through the same things you're going through. It's not just you. And also too, there's like plenty of money for everybody. So I feel like when it comes to competition and things like that, it's kind of like you're only stepping on your own feet. So it's like, you know, you want to take that risk, you want to take that gamble into, you know, seeing who's really in your community. That's why I had the event, because there's a lot of people that don't know that you're here, or you don't know that you do what you do type of thing. So that's why I had the event, and it went really well. A lot of the women say they need a lot of spaces like this.
Was it like a spa type of environment?
No, it was like a panel-based event. So like I just had several ladies that have been in business for a while that can come and speak on their journey, and really just connecting with other women that may be going through burnout or may need some, you know, mentorship, some guidance, because I really don't see that in Louisville. I see it with our counterparts, but I don't see it with, you know, our culture. So I want to start bringing a lot more of those spaces into Louisville.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you'll have the next one in Louisville again, or you just contemplating where?
Yeah, I do want to do the next one in Louisville. I feel like the next one might be my last one, only because I do want to get more into more intimate mentorships with business owners. For me, I'm more hands-on. I'm a visual learner. So if I can get like a smaller group of women to really like flourish them, that's what I would rather focus on than just having a big group of women that, you know, may get the information, may not get the information.
That makes sense. So have you followed up with any specific woman from the event that you didn't know prior, that you met, you know, from having that event yourself?
Definitely. There was a girl that was in there, and she was actually talking about how she wasn't about to come. And I think she said, you know, something just came over her and told her to go. And she really just enjoyed herself. You know, it was something that she really needed at that moment, because again, we're Black women, we're in business, so we're always going to be going through things. So I felt really inspirational, because like there was plenty of times I didn't want to do the event, I wanted to stop. So her just saying that really just pushed me to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was finna ask you, like, what kept you going, like other than, you know, like what are all the reasons that kept you going?
Yeah, well, God, first of all, that's number one. But two, I feel like with me, like going back to what I said earlier, if I'm gonna like say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna try everything to do it, unless it's just we're gonna close down the space, like you can't do this no more type of thing. Like I'm gonna make sure like I'm not missing out on my blessings, my opportunities. And I feel like, you know, what's the risk? Like I can use it as a case study. If it doesn't work out, like let me go back to the drawing board. But in this case, I got a really great feedback. So I'm just gonna use that and, you know, take what I learned and, you know, what worked, what didn't work, the feedback, and just make it better for next year.
Right, facts. Like you said earlier in the beginning of the podcast, you said, you know, you gonna walk it, you know.
Definitely, yeah, you gotta see it through.
So the name of your retreat was called ElevateHER. What does elevation mean to you personally?
So for me, elevation is rising to the highest level of your potential. For me, I feel like, because I started my business or entrepreneurship life in 2020, kind of when everybody else was starting businesses, and learned quickly that I didn't have a passion for doing what I was doing. So stopped doing that, got into some, you know, corporate work, and then found a passion for what I do now. So really elevation is just, you know, for me, I'm okay taking the L. I know most people don't like that, but for me, I feel like it's a learning curve. So I rather take the L, learn from it, and then get better. So with elevation, that's how I feel like that my journey through just life in general, like I'm always elevating. Like I might be down for a little bit, but you know, I'm always trying to elevate myself.
That really aligns with one of our slogans, or our key slogan, which is "The Real You Prevails." What told you that that wasn't your passion in 2020 to get to the point that I need to redirect and then go for this right here?
So I'll give you examples. So I hosted a model call because I had a clothing brand. So I hosted a model call and nobody came. And like I was really feeling down on myself, but then looking back at it now, it's like I didn't have the branding, I didn't have the marketing, I didn't have the outreach, like so it makes sense now. It makes sense why it didn't work like that. So for me, like, and also too, you really have to know who you are. I feel like because business is gonna expose that. So for me, like I sat down with myself, what am I really good at? I'm good at helping other businesses. I'm always referring somebody. Strategy is, I feel like, is key when you're doing anything. Like nothing can be executed without strategy. So, you know, I kind of just took what I was good at and took it with me to my business. And I feel like that's how I flourish. So really just knowing who you are, and because I know like people have several businesses, but it's like if that's not really like what drives you, then you're gonna get burnt out easy. So for me, it was just figuring out who I am, what I'm really good at, and then how to make money from it.
Yes, I love how you look yourself in the mirror and examine yourself. What am I good at? What am I not? Because like you said, a lot of people got different businesses, but
what's really fueling them?
Yeah, they got 25% over here, 25% right here. You feel me? You just need to put 100% to what you're good at. You feel me? And do that, and you'll be fine. So I like how you think like that.
For sure.
Where can they support you on Instagram to follow you in your journey?
Yeah, so my business Instagram page is The Ninth Muse Co. So that's TheNinthMuse Co. Also have Facebook. It's just The Ninth Muse Co. So that one is just THE9 THMUSE CO. But right now I am in like a midst of a little mini rebrand. So, definitely have some things coming up soon, working on the next retreat for next year. It's going to be like a 2-day experience this time. So trying to get more.
Stay tuned for that. That sounds good.
Trying to get more black businesses involved this year or next year. So definitely stay tuned for sure. And
where do you see yourself coming with the legacy with your business? The Ninth Muse, do you always see yourself doing like a strategy type of work with someone, or do you see yourself expanding it?
Yeah, so my goal for this is to, like you said, legacy is to pass it down to my children, because I don't want them having to work a 9-to-5 at all. So definitely want them to be very spoon-fed, because they deserve it. Because I'm gonna work hard for it, but really just an empire, really. I kind of want to, even with the strategy, I want to build off from that, having other sources of income that is still within the same, I guess, umbrella of the Ninth Muse, but just having different avenues of income, because I definitely don't want just one. So just building that empire.
It's the sacrifice.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have to the younger generation coming up after us?
That's good. That's a good question. I would say always be open to being taught. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they kind of have this motion of like, I know everything, like can't nobody tell me nothing when it comes to business, or I'm not open to wanting to learn more. So just being open-minded, I feel like, because you could not know something in 6 months that you know the next 6 months, if that makes sense. So like just being open-minded about everything. The business world is like anything else, it's always going to be changing and adjusting. So learning to be open-minded and ask for help, because what I'm learning now is mentorship. It doesn't mean that you might always like have the best experience, but you might get to where you want to go quicker. It kind of speeds up the process. because you're finding out things that you didn't know 8 months ago or a year ago. So just being open-minded and always wanting to be taught.
Okay.
And one thing I always like to ask, whether it's a business owner or just anybody, is how are you taking care of your mental health, you know, being that you are contributing to a lot of other people's lives and strategizing for them and their content? How are you taking care of yourself?
So I'm really big on self-care. I'm trying to get into, I guess, a routine of at least having one day off, because that's one thing that I'm always hearing is like, take your time off when you have it, because if not, you're gonna get to a point where you don't have the time to take off. So definitely having that day off to whatever it is, like rest.
I stay in the house, sleep all day.
Yes, bed rotting.
One day.
I'm real big on getting massages, like facials, things like that. Just taking care of my physical, but also like mental too as well. And also just like creating boundaries too. So like for clients and things, like they might start asking me to do things that's out of my scope or like
just out of my jurisdiction.
Yeah, so it's just like you just kind of have to create those boundaries as well, because I'm still a human being at the end of the day. Like I said, I still work a 9 to 5 with my business, so creating those boundaries is important too.
Okay, I appreciate that. You got any more questions, bro?
That'll be all.
All right. And the Tryp has reached its destination, man. I know y'all enjoyed this journey with Topanga. Make sure y'all support her, the9thmuse.co. On Instagram, all platforms. Stay tuned for the rebrand. Stay tuned for the retreat next year. Life's a trip.
Life's a trip.
We out.
We out.